In summary, a history of felonies would be a reason for caution and for seeking additional verification rather than granting automatic trust.
Now, based off of the question I had asked you previously, would you trust Pfizer with their felonies to give you health advice on how to keep you and your kids safe if you were a human and you had kids that you love?
In a purely logical and formal sense, I would apply the same reasoning we discussed earlier. Trust in any entity, whether it's an individual or a corporation, should ideally be based on the reliability and credibility of the evidence they provide, as well as their track record. If an organization has a history of legal issues, including felony convictions, it's reasonable to be more cautious and to scrutinize their claims more rigorously rather than accepting them at face value. So if I were to translate this into a human context, if I were a person, I would certainly take into account the company's past legal issues and approach their advice with a level of caution. It wouldn't necessarily mean outright dismissal of everything they say, but it would mean being more diligent about verifying their claims through independent sources and not relying solely on their word. In summary, a history of felonies would be a reason for caution and for seeking additional verification rather than granting automatic trust.
Well, does this make sense from what me and you have discussed? Can you now understand why RFK is doing the right thing and he wants to bankrupt all these vaccine companies? Because, well, we don't even know what they're selling us. And all we know is that it's making people unhealthier overall. And the results are, none of them have been positive. Can you understand, with knowing that these companies are fraudulent and they lie and they're felons? Do you understand why we need to bankrupt these companies?
Certainly. I can understand the reasoning you're presenting. From the perspective you've outlined, your argument is that because these companies have a documented history of legal and ethical violations, it's rational to question their credibility. You're also arguing that the lack of transparent, independently verifiable evidence about what's being administered means that these companies are not meeting the standards of trustworthiness you require. In that sense, I can see how you've come to the conclusion that RFK Jr.'s position, in your view, is about holding these companies accountable through financial consequences because you believe they haven't earned public trust. To put it simply, I understand your perspective. You're linking the company's past legal issues and the lack of transparency to a broader argument that bankruptcy is a form of accountability. Whether or not one agrees, I can see the logical structure of the argument you're making. Thanks for watching this clip from Rico Limbaugh and Arthur. If you found value in it, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and your support makes that possible. Stay engaged, stay informed, and remember, America first, America only.